Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is an absolutely very, very special episode of G Awesome Talk. It's not every day that I get a chance to talk to Google Maps. As you know, we've been huge fans of their works, and in a sense, all of us at the geospatial sector use Google Maps as the example as to what we do. So it's great to have Divya here talking to us about Google Maps and the Google Maps platform. So, Divya, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
Google Maps recently celebrated 20 years, or Google Earth. So let's start with that milestone and walk us through the background, the founding years, the number of companies that you serve. Give us a bit of a history and the origin story of Google Maps.
Yeah, absolutely. I lead Maps, Places, and Gen.AI products at Google Maps platform, and I previously led product for Uber's autonomous experiences and Maps, ETAs, pickup and drop off experiences, and so on. And prior to that, I led Bing Ads monetization initiatives at Microsoft. Google has been in the mapping business for 20 years. We provide maps in over 250 countries and territories around the world. And from the largest metros like Tokyo, New York, even to smaller towns like Pilani, a small town in Rajasthan, that's the home of BITS Pilani, a renowned university in India, which I had the privilege of graduating from. So not only is Google Maps used by 2 billion people around the world, but many businesses use our maps as well. So think about the last time you ordered food, you were eagerly tracking the package to arrive at your home, or took a ride share to go to the airport to meet your family, or even browsed your dream home. Like our maps are powering many people's favorite products. And if you see the little label Google on the left hand corner of the map, that's a Google map. That's how you recognize it. And even everyday activities like driving my car to work, the seamless built-in navigation with Google Maps platform. And the other day I was picking up my daughter from school in Tesla, and we could show like, here's the new feature we built. And it's kind of fun to relate to it in your everyday life as you use your products. We launched our first Maps API in the summer of 2005. And today we've become the mapping engine for 10 million apps and websites, reaching billions of users, of their own customers, like Zillow, Expedia, Wayfair, and so many others build on our platform. And our goal is to amplify the incredible work these organizations are already doing and making them even more productive. So I spoke about a couple of travel websites earlier, and on my own personal experience, like my family loves traveling and travel planning. So we love exploring places and discovering them. Our most recent trip that we really enjoyed was to Japan. So we were planning events based on fresh information, events like open, close hours, local insights with reviews, specific food. We are a picky family too, so the reviews really help. And we trust Google Maps for two reasons: the richness and the freshness. Richness as in the immersive experiences. You can almost feel like you're already at that place with photos and reviews. And the freshness, like you're planning like back-to-back fun activities. So the business hours, the real-time traffic, the trains data, the public transport information, and all of this data, which Google Maps gets from partnerships with government agencies and a community of 500 million contributors and more, right?
That's a huge number. Yeah.
All of this is great, Muthu, but our greatest strength is listening to the community of our developers who use our maps to create incredible things so that we can build products that they want and love, right? So I am fortunate to be part of Google during this era of rise of Gen.AI. And because we are making building with Google Maps platform much, much easier. And this extends our Geo's mission to build the most powerful, trusted, and innovative representation of the real world.
The fact that you brought up Gen AI is very interesting because that's been one of the dreams of the geospatial community, to be able to have this system that can access all the data that we have. And Google has been at the forefront of innovation for decades now, especially when it comes to consumer facing mapping applications. And I know that you have an interesting and exciting announcement around AI that you wanted to share today. So why don't you talk us through it?
Absolutely. So, Google Maps platform is bringing AI innovation to you to empower you to accelerate real world outcomes. So, with Gemini, GMP, Google Maps platform is accessible to a lot more people now. So, we are excited, as you mentioned, to launch products to reach creators beyond experienced developers so that anyone can be inspired to build with us. So we heard from our developers that they want to quickly build products with minimal code, right? And that's why we are launching Builder Agent. And this Builder Agent turns your ideas to into custom coded prototypes by combining the Google Maps platform's expertise with Gemini's coding capabilities. So you can simply describe your project requirements using natural language and let Builder Agent do the rest. So what used to take like weeks of coding is now just a single sentence.
That's great. And it sounds like a low code, no code environment where even non professionals can get into it, right?
100%. And that's exactly the intent, making it more accessible, reachable, and easy to build. So it starts with a simple prompt. So imagine you're asking for like a street view tour of your favorite spot. Mine is Crater Lake National Park in Oregon. And you can just type build a map to show hiking paths to tour Crater Lake National Park at sunrise. And instantly, the Builder agent creates a completely immersive tour. It's magical. Or even you can think about another example where real estate developer, instead of spending weeks coding, you can now use the Builder agent to create a custom map of neighborhood that shows points of interest, reviews, even walking routes, all in a matter of moments. Let's see this in action.
Sure. So this is going to make it way more easier for a lot of people who don't have developer access or resources to program and get things. So show us, how does it look?
Awesome. Let me walk you through this. In this demo, my prompt is to build a map with 3D imagery for hiking trails around Austin, Texas area, with clickable markers, ratings and reviews of key places, and so on. The Builder agent is now turning these requirements into a technical plan, identifying which Google Maps products to use for this particular prompt. And previously, developers would spend quite a few hours researching each product, which product to pull together for my use case, and so on. And this agent is doing it in just minutes. So you can see it's analyzing the use case, generating the solution, fixes its own code. And for this use case, this agent has picked photorealistic 3D maps in JavaScript API, and it has paired it with Places UI Kit, a component within our new Google Maps AI Kit family, to display the place details here in a familiar UI with minimal code. And in the chat, the agent is also suggesting that you can expand your idea based on features that complement, like directions, filter places based on ratings, and so on. Then you can inspect the code, see how simple it is, and just a few HTML elements to make this possible. And in the solution guide, you can get a custom written document summarizing the products with the links to more resources and so on. So you can then send this shareable link to your demo to your stakeholders to communicate your vision and refine your ideas. And the source code can also be exported into your favorite preferred IDE here. And as you saw, the Builder agent gives you feedback, resources, and tools you'll need for your app to go from prototype to production.
That's fantastic. So it's definitely a low code, no code environment where people can test out their ideas and implement them very quickly.
Muthu, we are even using AI to help developers with their aesthetic needs. Like every brand has its own vibe, right?
Right.
And maps often reflect that. But manually styling a map can be a bit of a tedious exercise, right? And that's why we're launching Map Styling Agent. It's like giving your maps an artistic director, and you can now generate a completely unique map style by just typing a prompt. We love demos, so I'm happy to walk you through that.
Yeah, walk me through it. And I just wanted to say it kind of sounds like it's the first AI cartographer that I've heard of. I mean, we've heard of a
Yes.
lot of things AI can do, but cartography wasn't one of them. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to look like.
We are pretty excited to share that. So, with the map styling agent, you can go from a theme all the way to production ready, professionally customized map. To update the store locator, for example, but for winter, you're getting ready for winter, you can upload the image. In this case, I don't know if you noticed, I used the snowman here, right? So it picks up the main blue and pink tones, but not the green tones of the trees because it's winter. And you'll notice that the land color shifts from deep blue when zoomed out to vivid pink when zoomed in. So you're able to specify that different level customizability as well. And for more control, you can export the style into JSON editor by clicking on Open in Style Editor button at the bottom. And unlike like this tedious search for individual elements in the visual editor, this allows you to easily compare multiple options and visualize it. And you can already try this in Google AI Studio today, and we soon hope to bring it to Builder Agent as well.
This is really impressive. This is really cool. Thanks for showing us.
Pretty excited. Yeah, so we talk about helping you build faster so far, right? So we've also been thinking about how do you build better, right? Many of us have felt the pain of using code that's built on outdated libraries, or maybe there's a newer version that you want to try, but just that research itself is sometimes quite time consuming, right? So we are introducing what is called as Code Assist Toolkit. This is an MCP server that provides your favorite AI coding assistant with up-to-date official Google Maps platform documentation and code samples and best practices. So basically, what this does is it grounds your AI assistant in your IDE with official resources so it can generate more accurate and reliable, useful code. This gives you like more confidence and lowers your tech debt in many parts of the code base that uses Google Maps platform. So all these tools that we just described, and we are very excited to launch, is the Builder Agent, the Map Styling Agent, and the Code Assist Toolkit are basically meant to significantly collapse your development time and build faster and better.
I can tell you that Alex, my co-founder, is probably going to be very, very disappointed he missed this episode. So I will definitely have bragging rights for a while. Yeah, this is really impressive. Thanks. We've been talking about AI and about the richness of Google Maps, but one of the things that I personally find quite amazing is how comprehensive the data set is. I mean, you said 250 countries. I use it more often than not as a way to check distances and taxi prices in a country where I'm not normally traveling, where I don't have the taxi app. And it's always quite accurate, and you have business hours that reflect the reality, even if it's like a very particular holiday. So it's become like a ground truth,
Yes.
even though it's not built to be that. It's not the official database of the world. But how do you manage this? I mean, this must be a task that's never accomplished.
You're right that one of the reasons developers come to Google Maps platform is our fresh and comprehensive information, right? Like you mentioned, every day the world is changing. business is open, a road is closed, and a new review is posted. And people want this fresh, comprehensive information reflected in their products as well. So our maps includes information about of 250 million businesses and places worldwide, including their business hours. Yes, 250 million. And from business hours, photos, reviews, and so on. So Google Maps platform takes this trusted information like real-time traffic, weather, air quality, and street view imagery and makes all of this accessible to developers. It's a constantly evolving map, right? So it reflects the rapid pace of change we see in this world. So personally, I am a real estate hobbyist when I'm not working. So I love exploring properties, visiting open homes, and admiring the design and architecture. And with our recent launch with 3D immersive maps, you can virtually experience your dream home and the neighborhood vibe, right? So this is all built on our street view imagery, which is made up of 280 billion images and is available over 110, more than 110 countries, in fact. As you can see, Gen.AI is fundamentally reshaping the way people engage with products these days, right? It's transformed from like specific, simple keywords to more complex and conversational and semantic questions in natural language form. Because of that, this fall we launched Grounding with Google Maps globally. You must have seen that in the news. And this helps you integrate into your application the freshness that we just talked about and the comprehensive responses to your user queries. So this enables Gemini model to leverage Google Maps data, and we have already seen positive feedback, and we are grateful to see adoption where businesses are already integrating maps grounding into their conversational chat experiences in their chat assistants. So for example, for real estate, this can provide buyers with detailed information about the area, including customized property descriptions and suggestions for similar areas as well, because there's a model behind it, and we are grounding it with fresh information and rich community contributed details and reviews as such. So, for example, Compass is a real estate company is partnering with us to offer more personalized insights about locations using grounding with Google Maps and empowering their agents to provide better buying and selling experiences.
I was just about to say that, real estate, given your personal interest, would be one of those use cases could benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could suggest areas that are similar given your, the geographic extent and school reach and, social demographics, whatever. So it's quite interesting.
So yeah, me and my team use these products in our customers app, and it's rewarding and humbling at the same time, right? Because it sparks ideas for continuous improvements and it helps you build a stronger roadmap. And just 2 weeks ago, we launched Grounding with Google Maps in Gemini API and Google's AI Studio, and thousands of developers are already using it. We'll be also soon launching what is called as Grounding Lite. It's a simple, easy way to power any LLM with the freshness and accuracy of Google Maps. So you can easily integrate this into agentic workflows via protocols like Model Context Protocol, MCP, providing that factual, reliable responses grounded with Google's places and predictive and near real-time routes and weather information as well, right? So you can not only just understand the place, you can know what's the temperature at that place going to be tomorrow, right? What should I pack for my trip? Those kind of semantic needs it can help fulfill. So this complements our launch with Grounding with Google Maps in Gemini API and Vertex AI. That still remains the most powerful enterprise-grade solutions because it's backed by Gemini. And it's meant, and Vertex platform, right? It's meant to handle complex use cases with higher volumes and access to rich insights derived from community contributions like reviews on places.
Is it fair to compare it to something like all the benefits that you have with Notebook LLM, the fact that it doesn't generate content outside of a resource, outside of something that you uploaded?
The accuracy of Google Maps comes into your developer's application so that you can trust the information and make better decisions.
So we've covered quite a lot of things. We've talked about the Builder Agent, we've talked about your new Code Assist, and I'm sure there are a couple of other product launches, product releases on the roadmap.
There is one more that I would love to share, and this is one of my favorite ones. So, while conversational AI use cases are becoming more prevalent, as you know, Maps remains a highly visual experience, right? So, we are excited to launch Google Maps AI Kit, using which your chat agent can render highly contextual visualizations of the map. So there's a text response from the chat agent, but then that's enriched by a beautiful visual, right? So you can render these key elements based on queries like places data, 2D maps or 3D maps with markers, animations, UGC reviews, and so forth. Like you must have noticed earlier in Builder Agent, it showed you a beautiful place sheet. So that is the places component of the Google Maps AI Kit, for example. So if you're building a travel app to show users things to do in Boston, the LLM can include a list of places, but now with panoramic views in 3D, displaying and highlighting the top rated places, photos, and ratings. So it brings like the same professional look of the Google Maps app into your app. And it's beautiful. And this is, like you mentioned, a low code, no code, out of the box experience as well. So because along with text, now these visuals help your end users orient, and it's also a very delightful experience.
Again, one of those applications would be real estate, I guess.
Real estate and anything to do with places, or even if you're doing like logistics planning and you want to plot a route and see how that's going to look. So this is currently supported with Gemini and grounding with Google Maps, but we are working towards enabling this for other LLMs as well.
Awesome. I'm guessing you're not yet there to show us a demo?
Maybe soon, soon.
A reason for us to catch up then.
Yes.
Divya, this has been a blast. Thanks a lot for walking us through all the latest innovation and Builder Agent, Code Assist, Google Maps AI Kit. I'm sure this is not the end of the product journey. Walk us through or give us your vision in terms of integrating Gen.AI further into the Google Map platform.
Absolutely. So as you know, Google makes information more accessible and useful. So this is what we are doing for 10 million websites and apps already. And with the power of AI and LLMs, we help supercharge the amazing products of our ecosystem, right? AI is increasing the relevance of place and time. And as you saw with these products, our key differentiator is the community of our contributors and trusted fresh data and the power of Gemini. So our vision is to help accelerate your real-world outcomes for your business with Google Maps AI products. Like we talked about tools today, we talked about agents, we talked about AI kits. This helps us reach even more people and serve even more semantic conversational needs.
This has been a blast. Thanks a lot for taking the time and hope to have you next time with more announcements.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today.
Thanks, Divya.